We have all heard the saying, what goes around comes around. When I hear this quote, I often think of karma. For years now, people have been parasites to this planet. In a 2016 Fifth Assessment Report, the IPCC states in a summary to its policyholders that humans are most likely the cause for the global temperature increase from 1951 to 2016. We as humans are entrepreneurs. We build and we conquer without the worry of consequence. The way we treat the planet is the way the planet will treat us. Perhaps the ultimate example of karma is climate change. The Earth's atmosphere does many vital things for us, including blocking UV radiation, generating vital weather patterns, as well as being the air we breathe. But the same thing that keeps us warm, same mechanism that keeps us warm, is what makes the atmosphere potentially dangerous. Climate change does not just affect the planet. It affects all living things, and if we do not choose to change the rate it's going at, it's going to affect our future generations as well. We are already seeing the effects of climate change today. It's far past the phase of questioning if it's real or not, because it is here and it's as real as you and me. According to a worldwildlife.org, 1/3 of corals, sharks, and rays, as well as 1/4 of all mammals, 1/5 of all reptiles, and 1/6 of all birds are heading towards extinction. The mass extinction of life is not the only part of the problem. Temperatures in the Arctic show it is heating up 2 times faster than the rest of the world. We are on track to see a 4-foot sea level rise by 2100. If we don't change now, this will alter the world and force hundreds of millions of people to move inland with an already 8 billion person population and counting. On top of this, the extreme weather events will become more common as well as intensifying. Here's a question. In the past 5 years, how many times have you seen on the news record weather events such as storms, heat waves, or wildfires? This is Mother Nature slapping us in the face to wake up. A child born today will face much more difficult challenges than their parents. One example is food shortages. As temperatures increase and droughts become more intense, our food supply will begin to fall. Imagine how the world will react once there's not enough food to go around. Almost all children today will see a drastically warmer world. 90% of 16-year-olds today will live to see a 3.6 degree warmer world, while 4% will live to see a 5.3 degree warmer world, along with the detrimental effects that accompany it. The United Nations states climate change is a defining issue as well as a defining moment in time. From the shifting weather patterns that threaten our food source to rising sea levels that increase the chance of catastrophic flooding, the impacts of climate change are global in scope and unprecedented in scale. Without drastic action today, it will become more difficult to fight this in the future and cost many more lives and money than it would today. You are either a part of the problem or you are a part of the solution. So here are some ways that you can be a part of the solution. You can make your home more energy efficient. That can be changing light bulbs, changing windows, or even going solar if you can. A more efficient home cuts down emissions because not as much energy is needed. But here's a new one for you. Recycling. To produce plastic requires a ton of fossil fuels. From the process of getting the raw materials to producing itself. One of the biggest solutions is to protect and grow our forest. Some interesting figures were discovered by a team in ETH Zurich. If we were to reforest 900 million acres globally, we could remove 2/3 of man-made carbon emissions. Forest restoration has been praised as our #1 solution to remove carbon from the atmosphere. If we don't change now, the best way to imagine our future is one full of sorrow and misery. But if we act now, we can slow global warming. And with enough effort globally, we can even begin to reverse the effects. The first step in changing a problem is admitting there's a problem to begin with. Here's a chart showing global change from 1880 to 2013. The yellow line represents CO2 emissions in parts per million, while the orange line represents temperature change. We can no longer shoulder off this very real thing as a myth. Talk about it with your family, talk about it with your friends. Present the facts and fight the ignorance. A true difference can't be made until we are unified. Climate change can be slowed, whether it's riding a bike, planting a tree, or simply talking about it. Doing something now, like speaking up about climate change to your friends or your family, or even just realizing that climate change is real, can have resounding effects. If we continue to do nothing while our glaciers are melting and animals are on the brink of extinction, then we are heading to the ending of the world as we know it. So, ride a bike, plant a tree, and all of you have a great night.